Today we're going to be going over a few incredibly memorable scents that people just won't be able to forget. These aren't your usual things that you smell every day that kind of blend in and just smell like a fresh, clean soap or something. These are quite the opposite. These leave a lasting impression that really is pretty desirable. I mean, you want to kind of be remembered as that guy who not only smells good, but smells good in a unique type of way. I actually want to kick things off with a brand new release from Coach. It is Coach for Men Oda Parfam. This one's got leather, cedar wood, some cardamom in here. This stuff is great. I thought it was going to be kind of a toss-away release, one where, you know, it wasn't going to be all that exciting just because, I don't know, it took them a while to come up with an EDP, and, you know, they've had a few really good ones. Platinum and Coach Green has been pretty good, but also had a few, like Coach Blue was kind of forgettable. Even you could say the original Coach was, I don't know, a little bit boring. So I wasn't really feeling the best about this one, but I have to say this far exceeded my expectations. Nice, fresh, clean, woody, and earthy with a bit of a spicy kick off the top. That leather cedar wood combination is what really helps this one to stand out. So while it is fresh, has plenty of woods and other notes going on to support that freshness and give it a bit more of a variety here. You know, with some of that cardamom spice, you're kind of getting something that also could work well in fall, winter, or just cooler times, even, you know, cloudier spring days. But then some of that freshness that it has does help it hold up, you know, on some warmer days as well. I could see this one being really, really popular long term. It's not something that I think is going to happen right away just because retail is your only option right now. But once it starts to get on discounters for your usual Coach price, which, you know, could be anywhere from $30 to $40, I could see this one doing really, really well. And kind of same thing happened with Platinum. It didn't get popular right out of the gate, but after some time, really started to build up some you know, kind of a following. Even Coach Green, it's a bit newer. It's on discounters now, has been for a while. It's a really solid release as well that is a very reasonable price at discounters. And so I could see the same thing happening here. Nothing that you can really go wrong with. And I think it has just enough of uniqueness to it to where it really does stand out. This next one is Zerjoff Kobe. Now talk about a unique, warm weather, citrus, fruity scent. I mean, this stuff, it smells unlike anything else. It just has this real nice sweet orange mixed with some of these white florals, musk, some light woods. This stuff smells amazing. Nothing new. This has been around for a long time. Same thing with Neo. A lot of these shooting stars, fragrances, this line, they've been around for a while. But you really, I mean, you don't hear a ton about them. At least not on my channel anyway. I've got Neo, I've got this one. They're incredibly good. A bit more pricey, but still very good. And really in the grand scheme of things, as far as niche goes, they're not outrageous. I mean, it is 50 ml bottles here, but you know, if you're being conscious about where you're shopping and sales and deals and stuff, you can end up getting it for a halfway decent price. If you can, I recommend it. I don't recommend you just go out and buy this at full retail or at a bad price. That's not something I would do, but they do pop up every now and then for a great deal. Again, kind of leaning on the fact that it is so unique smelling. It's just different, you know, and that's kind of uncommon with this style of scent. Summer scents in general, but especially your citrus, kind of fruity scents, they all start to smell alike a little bit because how different can you really make them? You know, as far as designers putting them out, they tend to struggle with that sometimes, but this here truly does have kind of a one-of-a-kind smell that I just love. I'm going to go ahead and spray it, you know, and I just gotta, man, that neroli off the opening, it is right there, like this neroli petitgrain, kind of herbaceous freshness, mixing in with some of that sweeter orange fruitiness. This is just uplifting spring and summer in a bottle. It doesn't get much better than this. Next up, we have Gucci Intense Oud. Kind of got somewhat popular because it gets compared to Nascimento Black Afgano, which is not an overly popular scent on its own. think the reason why it did get pretty popular is, one, because the color of the liquid is black and you just don't see that all that often, and so the bottle itself stands out and the bottle itself is very memorable. But that one also has a lot of oud. It is strong, it is smoky. It is not for everybody. Gucci Intense Oud, it shares some similar characteristics, but also with its own twist and its own designer twist, which is very important. This one has oud, it has frankincense, it has leather, so still kind of the general idea, but with a Gucci twist. And Gucci, they'll put out some things that are kind of daring. They've done it before, and I'm sure they still would do that, but it's nowhere near as daring as the Nascimento. So this really does have more of a wearable take. Smoky, woody, sweet. And again, still not going to be for everybody here. You kind of want to think it through fully, try it if you can. 90 ml on discounters, usually for $110 to maybe $120, $125 or something. So definitely not cheap, not a cheap blind buy, not an overly safe blind buy either, but one that is really, really good. Great quality, great performance, and ultimately, I mean, it's super memorable. Even if somebody doesn't like it, well, they'll still remember this most likely because it is, it's a standout scent. Let's go for Fahrenheit Les Parfums by Dior. It's the one to get. Now, keep in mind, it's about the only one you can get. It's the original Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit Les Parfums. Those are your only two options anymore. Absolute, Fahrenheit 32, Cologne, Aqua, all discontinued. And if you come across them, great. Basically pick them up. Even if you end up not liking it, the resale value there is present. And so you could just turn around and sell it again and probably get exactly what you paid for it back out of it, because people love discontinued fragrances. So it's safe in that regard. But in terms of what is readily available, it's the original and the Les Parfums. And even sometimes this one can be a little bit iffy. So I don't recommend waiting years to pick this up, because I can only imagine it's going to assume the same fate that basically all of the others have at some point. This one does have the violet leaf with some rum and some leather. Leather is making a pretty big appearance today. Not on purpose, but maybe it kind of paints a picture, I think sometimes when done right, leather really can help a scent to stand out and smell memorable and different. It adds kind of a cool factor to the scent, and definitely get it here. Nice and sweet, rum accord, leathery, still has that fresh Fahrenheit smell, but just more interesting and more unique. There's more going on to make this one more exciting than the original, at least to me. It's a great performance out of this Parfum as well. Typically, this is a 75 ml, and you're up over $100. So price per milliliter is on the higher end of things, but it's worth it. Okay, let's go for TUMI 19 Degree, a discovery of mine that I just love. I mean, I got it when it first came out. It's not like I discovered it, because it was a new release and I bought it. That being said, I took the risk on buying this at full retail, which is $175, $190, something like that for 100 ml Parfum. That's a lot of money for a designer release, okay? And so I assumed that risk and I bought it based off of the notes alone and the fact that it's a Parfum and the bottle. I do like the bottle, but it was mostly the note breakdown that I was after. Wonderful raspberry note in here with some leather. Again, I did not plan this out, the leather thing. I don't know why, but it just, leather is in here. So if you're not a fan of leather, a lot of these are pretty wearable leather, but something to keep in mind. In this instance here, there's so much more with that, the raspberry fruitiness, a nice sweetness in here, get some like a sandalwood creaminess, and then of course some leather as well. But it's just, man, it smells so good. That opening, nice and bright, bubbly, fizzy, and fruity. Stuff smells great. It gets compared to a Ventus. It's just like comparing a Ventus to Cedrat Boisé. Do they have some similar characteristics as far as general category, placement, like woody and fruity? Yeah, definitely. Woody and fruity. So is a Ventus. Do they smell similar in the regard of like this being a clone? No. However, it is still an amazing scent that you don't have to pay full retail for anymore on discounters for less than $100. We're gonna finish this video off with Mercedes-Benz Club Black. It is one of the best designer vanilla scents you can buy. I've been saying that for years, still remains true. And just to clarify, designer vanilla, designer price vanilla, okay? Let's just keep it clear. I'm not talking like high-end, Dior, whatever, YSL, big brands with their expensive lines, vanillas. I'm not talking about those either. Designer price, $40 for this vanilla scent, and it smells amazing. Vanilla, benzoin, and ambroxan. No leather, okay? So we're away from the leather now to finish this one off, but it's just, if you like that note of vanilla, this is a must-have. It's a very sweet iteration, so not your usual masculine smelling scent like quite a few of these others in here. This one's probably more unisex leaning, even though it is marketed as a men's scent. So it can kind of go either way. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But at the price point that it's offered at, it's a safer blind buy. If you know what you like, this is probably going to treat you really well. If you don't know what you like, this might be one that you hold off on at least a little bit until you figure that out, because it's not your usual cologne smell. Great performance. It's an Oda Parfum. Or wait a minute. Nope, it's an Eau de Toilette. That being said, a new Eau de Parfum has been announced. Mercedes-Benz Club Black EDP. I believe it has red Eau de Parfum lettering on the bottom. Launched or announced this year. Haven't gotten it yet. Hopefully it becomes available soon, because I definitely want to try it. We'll see how that one holds up. But just the Eau de Toilette, this stuff is unforgettable. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some scents that people will never forget, for better or for worse. Most of them for better. There might be one challenging one in here where maybe not everybody will like it, but most probably will. I'll link all these down below if you want to pick any up. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.